Alright, guys, I'm bringing you a spicy little game that I played earlier today. I played this around about 11 o'clock-ish, like 11 before noon, so, or 12, or 11 a.m., because noon is 12. But anyway, this is a game that I played earlier today, and it's a fun little game, so I wanted to share it with you all. So first things first, looking at the matchmaking threats to my ship, there's a Parseval for carriers, Salem radar, Nevsky radar, a Hayate Daring and Marceau for destroyers, and a Baleo for submarines. So first things first, looking at what's going on, we have carriers, because of course we do. So right now, we have a Cleveland and a carrier about to head towards sea. So what I'm looking at is I want to try and deny this cap if I can. We have a Cleveland radar over here that maybe might actually come over here. But either way, we have the Cleveland radar potentially, but we definitely have these Lexington planes. And that's what I'm counting on to spot for me. And he does even go so far as to drop a fighter, which is very, very nice of him. So, I'm not sure which, at this point, I wasn't sure of which of these destroyers that it was going to be contesting me. But the thing is, I'm evenly matched against this Marceau, potentially. Most Marceau players don't typically spec into BFT the way I do, ever since it got kind of nerfed. Many people don't really take it, but I still do, because every little bit that you can get helps. But what does end up getting spotted is this Hayate. So it's not the Marceau that I was going to have to deal with. But like I was talking about, though, main battery, an AA specialist, I think is the name of it now. It's was originally called basic firing training, hence why I say BFT, but it got nerfed from being 10% reload down to 5%, which is still helpful, but not as many people take it as they once did. But people who still take it do have a slight advantage over those that don't, because I would have to double check the numbers behind it, but BFT is like a 15-ish K, around about something like that, difference in DPM. So if this Marceau is running an identical build to me, barring basic firing training, I'll still come out on top because I still have that extra little bit of DPM on him. When it does, it really does make a difference, even at 5%, which is why I still recommend the skill. But anyway, here right now I just luck chuck some torpedoes down sea. They're entirely Make-A-Wish torps, but I'm expecting this Hayate to try and step back in. So I was getting spotted by planes there. I kept my AA guns off because I was expecting the fighters to leave range, and I would go dark. But then when I didn't, I was like, okay, I might have to shoot these down. And then naturally, that's when the fighters went away. But this Hayate is stepping into the cap right now, and he is being, I think, detected by planes. I'm actually not sure what it is that's spotting him. But the Cleveland fucked off, so I'm not going to be able to use his radar. But right now, I'm just looking to set up an ambush on this guy, even though I don't know what's spotting him. He is slowing down and smoking up. And right here, this is something I've highlighted before on the channel. When you are fighting a smoked up destroyer, you have kind of like 3 different modes that you're in. You have last known position, which is what I have right there. Right here, we're switching to our next kind of mode, which is visual indicators, which you saw that guy just shot out of his smoke screen. So that's telling me where he is in that smoke and where I need to aim my blind fire if I want to hit him. I did take more damage than I would have liked from this exchange because there was a Salem right there, but I still got a pretty decent chunk off of that Hayate, so I believe this was a worthwhile trade. I traded 10,000-ish of my health for almost 16,000 of his health. And he also got hit by the Cataluna as well. Catalunya, I think is how it's said. But anyway, right now is our third mode, which is basically just trial by gunfire or reconnaissance by gunfire. Just dropping as many shells as we can into the smoke, and sometimes you'll get lucky. He was on a pretty low amount of health right there. I think he was on like a few hundred health, because only 2 shells was all it took to kill him right there. So, sucks to be him. He was pretty much dark. That was purely reconnaissance by gunfire, and he just got unlucky. It happens. So, right now what I'm looking at is mainly this Nevsky, because what this Nevsky does is what is going to determine whether I go aggressive and try and backcap B, or if he goes and turns out and turns to kite away when he sees me, or he sees this Napoli and Catalunya walking through C. That's going to determine which way I go. And I kind of want to pick a fight with the daring as well, although the issue with that is going to be I have to do it pretty far up north, because if this daring smokes up, I don't want to be spotted by Gunbloom for him to shoot at me for free. Because that's how darings will trap you. They have those British smoke screens that last only a few seconds, like 40 seconds or 50 seconds, but they have a very fast cooldown. And they can set up smoke traps like that quite often because of it. So I'm being very wary about picking the fight with the daring, because I don't want to fall into one of those types of traps. So right here I'm just using this island to try and shoot at this Nevsky and get some free damage. But I'm mostly shattering because, well, it's a Nevsky. And I'm probably hitting turrets because I can't even see exactly where he is. I'm trying to aim basically mostly off of the mini-map right here. And right now, since I was detected anyway, I might as well try and get a little bit of farm on that Humahari. I am going to switch to the AP right here, I believe. Yeah. I don't believe it ends up doing a whole lot of damage to this guy, because he's going to end up turning out. Or I'm just going to be bad at the game. Or it's just going to straight up be non-pens. So right now, I did pick up RPF right here, which that is telling me that this daring is heading in my direction. He's not turning up north to chase after the Slava. He's heading straight towards A, to either to try and get at this submarine, or to go after A. I am hard spotted now. You can see me pinging the map right there. That's me trying to tell my team, hey, there's a daring right here. And here we go again. This daring's about to smoke up. We are out of detection bloom, so we're dark. So right now, here's our last known indicator, or our last known position. And 90% of destroyer players will reverse when they smoke up. I don't know why, but they do. So you saw how when I was shooting there, as soon as I started hitting shells, I started bringing my aim a little bit backwards there. That daring basically just reversed into all of those shots. And I'm not sure what detected him right there. He was detected briefly through the smoke. I'm not entirely sure what it was that spotted him, but I'm not going to complain. So instead of being in our reconnaissance by gunfire mode, we ended up being in our last known position mode. And I guess mode is really like the best, I guess, term that I can really say for what I'm describing, because when you're trying to blind shoot destroyers in smoke, how you're doing it is going to be changing, and the accuracy is going to be changing depending on did the person just smoke up? Do you know where they last were? Are they stationary? Are they reversing? Are they firing and giving you tracers to aim at? That sort of thing. And right now, I do want to try and get my farm on this Republic, but I am getting shot at by the Yumahari, and the Republic goes down to submarine torpedoes. And it is actually pretty unlucky that I was still spotted by the Yumahari there. I'm just going to drop some blind shots in there. But anyway, back to the Yumahari. When I was engaging the Republic and I saw, well, I didn't see the shells, but I took a little bit of damage. So I knew that the Yumahari was shooting at me, so I couldn't afford to just keep farming the Republic. So when that Republic went down, I went dark as soon as he went down because there was nothing else in range of me. But then I ended up speeding back up into detection range of the Yumahari, which in retrospect I could have avoided, but at the same time I also didn't want to get too close to the Republic that was still alive. So, you know, it's kind of I mean, I didn't take too much damage from it, I guess, but it wasn't ideal, but it was ended up being fine. I also did manage to get some blind fires on the or blind shells and a fire on the Nevsky. He did DCP it, of course, but here we have a pelt opportunity. And initially, I was toying with the idea of running after this Parseval and then turning back and capping B. But if I were to chase after the Parseval, what would likely end up happening was I would end up chasing him through around about there, and then I would end up being in the line of fire of the Yumahari and the Nevsky, and neither of those are things I want to be close to. So right now, I'm trying to get some damage on this Parseval, but Marceau shells are pretty floaty. It's something that you need to practice and get used to, but what's hurting me right here is a lot of them are hitting on the deck and shattering. And this is really, really annoying to shoot at carriers that are just going to run away from you for that reason. Because it's really hard to not hit the deck because the shells are coming in from basically straight above. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to aim in a place where I can hit this little section of stern, or try and hit like that section of hull, which is a very difficult thing to do with the angle that he's at. So at this, pretty soon I'm gonna just have to be fuck this guy, because there's a Marceau in my face. And this Marceau is about to be very bad, because he caught me in a pretty bad spot because my guns weren't turned for him. And he did put a lot of damage into me. Now we're on a pretty much a fair playing field. We're on a pretty similar amount of health, but he is actually going to throw me off right here, and he actually survived longer than he might have otherwise would have, because he ended up beaching, and that threw off a bunch of shots. But it did also make him an easy target, so he's dead, I'm not. And honestly, that could have gone either way. He did have me in a pretty bad spot there. I was forced to gamer turn in front of him. He had carrier support that I had to worry about, even though I really kind of wasn't because of the whole Marceau in my face thing. If he had gotten a couple more good shots on me in that initial engagement, that probably honestly would have killed me. So not much is about to happen for the rest of this game. This Yumahari is about to go down fairly soon here, because he's going to get shotgunned by this submarine, and I'm looking to maybe try and get a little bit of damage on him, but it's not going to happen because the submarine is just going to pop up and shotgun his ass. And Our Nebraska has been cosplaying a carrier the entire game, by the way. Like, I mean, I don't think he's gone past the sea line up to this point. So, you know. There I am trying to get a little bit of damage on this Yumahari, but it's not going to happen because I believe the Slava is going to pick him up. Or no, it's going to be the 4501. Maybe? No, it's the Slava. So, right now, nothing is really about to happen for the rest of this game. The best that I can contribute, and the reason I'm not going after the carrier, is because I'm on very low health, right? I do not want to risk my life because we are in danger of losing this game. Because if you look, even though we're about to cap a C, this Salem is about to kill this Slava. Our Lexington is halved. Our Nebraska's not in a position to do anything, and they still have an active carrier. So, what the issue right now is, if I were to go after this carrier, I would be the focus. I would obviously be the focus of that carrier because, well, I'm kind of killing him. And even if the Salem doesn't get involved, even if it's just me versus this carrier, even though I have Def AA, even though I'm very fast and have French saturation, I'm on such a low health total that all he needs is one either lucky or one good strike on me, and that's going to be me dead. So, and that will remove my points from the enemy team, or that will remove my points from my team and give some of those points to the enemy team, in addition to the Slava who's about to go down as well. So, right now, I'm really hoping that this 4501 is going to be able to shotgun this Salem. And I'm going to drop some torpedoes out on the Salem as well, because I'm expecting that he's going to turn into B right there. So that's what those torpedoes are meant to catch him when he turns into B. But I don't think it ends up happening because the 4501 somehow manages to miss his shotgun. I don't know how, but he does. So all I need to do is just make sure that I don't die more than anything. And the 4501 just kills himself via Salem. And this has the potential to be bad right there, because if this Salem pushed out and I got detected there, I was turned out and I would have had to turn that way and expose an uncomfortable amount of broadside in order to try and get back behind the island. So if that Salem didn't beach there and was able to push out around that island while I was turned out, that actually could have been pretty bad. But for right now, there is an island in between me and the Salem, and I almost toyed with the idea of turning a little bit to try and get my torpedoes away from the other side in case that Salem tries to walk. But at this point, I'm on such low health that I cannot afford to take a risk of getting spotted. Because if that Salem pushed up while I was turning out to get torpedoes off, if he was close enough to spot me, that would have been very, very dangerous. I didn't look at the exact distances. I'm not sure that if he rounded the corner he would have. So I might have been able to do it, but this is a lesson in just playing your life and don't take risks that you don't need to. And what I want to do right here is I'm looking to maybe try and get a little bit of mooch off of this this base capture, but the timers aren't working, but there's like 20 seconds left in the game. But I'm looking to get some mooching off of this base right here. I was hoping to get an additional assisted base cap, but I don't think it's going to happen. And once I realize it's not going to happen, I'm looking to maybe try and get a little bit of farm on the Salem for a few extra damage, because this game is about to end in a victory. So that is That Nebraska literally did absolutely nothing, and then walked in at the very end and almost killed himself. So that was a thing. But I think what this replay highlights is, first of all, blind shooting. I've already gone into detail during both instances about blind shooting and fighting smoked up destroyers, and you saw it firsthand right there. But also the importance of just making sure you play your life, play safe, and don't take unnecessary risks. Because if I were to die, if I had gone after the carrier and either the Salem or the carrier manages to kill me, that we could be looking at a very different screen right now. Even though we had the triple caps right there, if I had died, the Nebraska would have had time to die before the game ended. So let's just say I died. My points get removed from my team, and the enemy team gets some of those points. The reason that's significant is because those points that we otherwise would have had to end the game quicker would not have been there. So the Salem would have had more time to kill this Nebraska. In between him and the Parseval, they almost did, even during that time. So if they had the extra time from me dying, they definitely would have. So the reason I didn't go after the carrier, even though I really, really wanted to, was because I could not afford to risk losing my ship. Because that could, if I had died there, we could be looking at a different screen right now. So that, I think, is about to cover everything for this replay. It was a pretty decent little game, pretty funny little game, because I did a lot of blind shooting on the Hayate and the Daring. I even got some blind hits on the Nevsky as well. So that is going to be enough for today. I hope you've enjoyed this replay and you maybe have learned something from it. And if you have, that's great. But I will see you tomorrow.